Good evening and welcome to this session of the live learning classes conducted by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It's really great to be in touch with you all again through this session, and nice to see a lot of people out there. So we have Aisha again, Bhumika, welcome, Rushita, Diksha Agarwal, welcome madam, Rajni Singh, Mr. Shankaran from Nellore, okay, Iniyamale Vanakkam. I'm yet to see Darshan here. Mr. Tiwari is also yet to log on. Let's see, let them join later. Yeah, Sweetie is here, welcome, so on and so forth. Nice. See, the idea of greeting you all is to give this a little bit more personal, okay, touch. Otherwise, I feel like an idiot, sitting in front of my laptop talking to it. So I'm trying to create a feeling that I'm not talking to the laptop screen, and that I'm talking to real human beings out there, students who are very eager to learn law so that they can complete the CA final exam, intermediate exam. I'm sure you'll finish your final also, CA intermediate examination. Today, we are going to start a new topic, which is somewhat, shall we say, a follow-up or a follow-on from the earlier topic, accounts. So the minute we speak about accounts, automatically our mind will go to audit. So audit and auditors. So this is the topic. Very interesting topic. Obviously, because some of you or most of you will want to practice as chartered accountants, because that's one of the attractions of this qualification, that after we complete our CA, some of us get into practice where we will sort of be responsible for auditing companies, advising them on income tax, etc. So which means that those of us who would like to practice out to be very thorough in audit and taxation. So this is where we will spend most of our time. While others who are getting into employment would be more interested in finance, costing, etc. And some more others who would be into, say, investment banking would concentrate more on security laws, valuation, again, finance and all that stuff. So, it depends on what you want to do. So, otherwise also this is very interesting and relevant, because assuming that you are a CFO or a finance professional in a company responsible for finalizing the balance sheet, you would be constantly in touch with the audit and auditors. So both sides, it becomes relevant to you, and it's good. Let's see. As usual, we will get into the topic, and I'm sure you will raise a lot of questions or things and all. Some more people are joining here. We have Keshav Thakur, welcome sir, Kavita ji, Manisha, Komal is here, Manav Agarwal. Wow, that's a lot of people here. Good. Moving on. So this is chapter 10 of the, shall we say, Companies Act 2013, with an accompanying set of rules as usual called the Companies Audit and Auditors Rules 2014, right? So this topic is going to be discussed across these, broad thoughts. One is audit and auditors, appointment of auditors. That's the first beginning. The rules for appointment, possibly that itself would take quite some time because there are a lot of things to be seen. So appointment of first auditors, then subsequent auditors, etc., etc. Then maybe we will even see eligibility first. Okay, I will talk about qualification and disqualification, and then though the Act follows this order, I will not teach in this order. Maybe I will teach qualification and disqualification first. Who is qualified and what are the disqualifications? Then appointment, then removal, resignation of auditor, etc. Then, of course, the most important aspect of audit, I should say, which is remuneration. What do you say? That is the most important part, right? And so, powers and duties of auditors, and a little bit of, I will not teach auditing standards. I'm not competent to teach. I hope you understand the point. I use it, I apply it in my work, etc., etc. But teaching is something different. Somebody needs more depth in it. And some of you who will later on join large multinational firms as article clerks would become very much thorough in auditing standards, because as part of your regular work, you will have to fill up forms and fill up documentation, confirming that you have complied with standard auditing practice X, Y, Z, etc. Yeah. So, good evening, Mr. Mohammed. Welcome. Audit and auditors, we have prohibited services. 144. We spoke about it the other day. You also advised me that I am not supposed to give tax advisory services to my clients. Otherwise, I'll be violating. I think you are very clear. I will not be violating the law. I will not be violating the Companies Act. But I may be sort of skirting it with regard to independence. So long as I'm maintaining my independence, it's good enough. Otherwise, it's not a prohibited service. So the statutory auditor can be the tax auditor, can provide tax advisory services, but not recommended if you're going to become dependent on that. We'll come to that point. Signing of audit reports, auditor to attend AGM. See, compulsory. It is made mandatory that the auditor should attend the AGM, either by himself or send somebody there. Then, of course, any violation or any contravention, there is a punishment for the auditor and for the company. And lastly, just as we saw compulsory internal audit, we will also see cost audit. Who is the cost auditor, etc., etc. We also have secretarial audit, but that won't come here. You will study that when you come to final, where you'll talk about company secretary, his appointment, and secretarial audit. So, as I told you, this is the way my guru taught me how to teach. Right? That's why I'm teaching in this order. You may not find it in the institute material. It may be slightly, it will be going in the section order, which means that you would find appointment first, but then qualification and disqualifications. But permit me to do this the way my guru taught me, including directors also. When I teach for final, I teach qualification. Then only I can get into appointment. But then the act is so, the institute material follows the act. So there I think I go by appointment and then qualification, etc. I don't know. I forget what I did. But my guru always says, first you teach qualification and disqualifications. Then go for appointment, is what he used to say. So some more have joined. Shivam Tiwari is here. Welcome, sir. And Sudhanshu Shekhar. Everybody is here except Darshanya. The one man who is a regular communicator and regular commentator is not here. Chalo. So, who can be the auditor of a company as of today? I make the point very carefully. As of today, chartered accountants. Who is a chartered accountant? As defined by the Chartered Accountant Act, Accountants Act 1949. The law which gives meaning to us. See, this is the law that created the institute and therefore membership to it. And by which purpose only you are going to become a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Okay. Only individuals can become members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Right. So any individual who is a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India can be appointed as a chartered accountant. That's called sole proprietorship. A lot of our members do not practice as a firm. They practice in their own name. My father, for a long time, was practicing in his own name. From 1967 to 1991, when I joined, he was on his own, P.V. Sridharan and Co. Then the Karpagam and Co. was already there. It was formed in 1973, but then it was not inactive. It was inactive. Then when I came in, this firm was given to me as a shell, and I was asked to develop my practice. I prefer to develop my practice in that. And so then he became the senior partner in it. Then we became a firm. From 1973, the firm was there, but then the activation as such happened when I joined in 1991 as the managing partner, and the firm now, we are going to complete 50 years, 1973 to 2023. Rather, we completed in July 2023, the firm Karpagam, Krishnan and Natarajan now, with a merger with another firm called Krishnan and Natarajan, we completed 50 years of our, as a firm of chartered accountants. So a firm of chartered accountants could also be appointed as a auditor, okay? Provided the majority of partners practicing in India are members of ICAI. So only if the majority of partners practicing in India are members of ICAI. Okay. As of now, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has not permitted multidisciplinary partnerships. Though the Companies Act does not say no, you can have multidisciplinary partnerships. But the Institute does not permit me to become a partner of a firm in which others are not, chartered accountants are not. Only chartered accountants should be partners. I cannot share my income with any other professional as of now. I'm sure there will be changes in it so that, as some of you must be aware, I'm a company secretary and a chartered accountant. My daughter is a company secretary and my son is an advocate. So we could form a firm together and have a practice. But still, unless the majority of the partners are members of ICAI, the firm cannot be appointed as an auditor of a company, right? And even if so, there are other qualified professionals in the firm as partners. Only partners who are CAs can sign on behalf of the firm. So technically, the Companies Act does not prohibit or actually encourages multidisciplinary partnerships. So, but then they only say that majority of partners should be members of ICAI and only partners who are CAs can sign on behalf of the firm. But then the Institute has not permitted it. As of now, Institute has not permitted it. It will take more time. As of now, you can have an LLP. That is the best thing we can go. You can convert your firm into an LLP and limited liability partnership, which would definitely be good because, see, when other partners are there, definitely see, let us say that I'm admitting a new partner just coming in as a junior partner, he or she will be worried. Hey, this Srikanth is doing all this nonsense. I'm very worried about that fellow. Anything he does, I'm affected. Agreed. A limited liability partnership, definitely that will not be there. Unless that gentleman signs it, be careful. You're going to see that. Suppose there is a fraud or something, then that chartered accountant who signed the balance sheet will be guilty. Okay. Whether it's limited liability partnership or not, his liability will be there as a member of the institute. But of course, other partners will be safe. They would not in an LLP. So who cannot be an auditor? Disqualification. Who cannot be an auditor? Okay. So we have a body corporate other than an LLP. Because LLP is a body corporate under the Companies Act. LLP is a body corporate, but LLP can be an auditor. That's what I was trying to say. Firm includes LLP also. So, though LLP is a body corporate, because LLP has separate legal entityship and a perpetual succession. Therefore, LLP is a body corporate, but it can be appointed as an auditor. Other than LLP, nothing, no body corporate. Okay. Because see, simple logic. A body corporate has no brain, has no soul, has no heart, has nothing. It is an artificial entity. How can that entity have an opinion? See, an auditor is expressing an opinion there. When you sign the balance sheet or I sign the balance sheet, we are expressing an opinion that the accounts reflected, the balance sheet and profit and loss account reflect a true and fair view of the financial affairs of the company. Now, this is something only an individual who is having an independent brain can apply. It's a bigger question. In fact, this is a very, very esoteric question. If you really contemplate on this, it will be very surprising. Because in the United States of America, bodies corporate are actually allowed to, they are treated as citizens. Because there they have something called the First Amendment. The First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States gave the freedom of expression to everybody. And that freedom of expression is a very, one second, I'm sorry. So, madam, I'm busy. Agenda. Madam, I'm leaving in the night. Please, I'll call you later. I'm so sorry. It normally won't happen because I'm in a place called Salem in Tamil Nadu. I've come here for an income tax hearing. So I'm leaving by the evening night train. So in the meantime, I'm in the hotel room and those people are unfortunately calling. So it's okay. Now, coming back to the topic, body corporate in the United States, they say the First Amendment rights are given to the bodies corporate also. They also have the freedom of expression and all. But in India, still no. Body corporate is a body corporate. It cannot be appointed as an auditor, right? An officer or employee of the company cannot be appointed as an auditor. Though such an officer or employee may be a chartered accountant, well qualified, but he cannot be. For example, a director of a company may be a CA, but cannot be. We have a client one of whose founder directors is a member of our institute, but he cannot be the auditor of the company. Obviously, independence, okay, vested interest, etc. Similarly, employee cannot be. An employee generally, however high qualified, he has to obey the rules. Now he is bound by the contract, right? So because of independence. An LLP in which all partners or majority partners are CAs is qualified to becoming. Yes. Other than LLP can be appointed as an auditor. LLP in which all or majority of the say partners are practicing in India will be appointed, because in this case LLP is equated with firm. Other than LLP, no, nothing else. Okay, that is the correct understanding. Your understanding is correct, madam. Officer or employee, a person who is a partner or is in employment with an officer or employee of the company. A person who is a partner or is in employment with an officer or employee of the company. See, so Mr. A is a director of the company. Okay, Mr. A is a director of the company. He is a director. He is a partner of a firm. Now he cannot be. Mr. A, who is a director, cannot be appointed. Can his partner be appointed? No. The firm also cannot be appointed, so long as he is a partner in that. Okay. Or if there is an employee of that company, he is a partner of a firm. Can any other partner be? No. Or can an employee of the director be appointed? No. The employee of the director cannot be appointed. Okay. Also, so the idea is again and again independence. Okay, is the problem. Independence. This is very important. A person who or his relative or partner is so a person who or his relative or partner is holding any security of or interest. There are three categories. First category, a person who or his relative or partner is holding any securities of or interest in the company or its subsidiary or its holding or associated company or a subsidiary of such holding company. If you remember your related parties, I gave one diagram now. The company, its holding company, its subsidiary company, an associate company, and a co-subsidiary. That is any other subsidiary of its holding company. None of these entities, that person can be appointed as an auditor. A person who or his relative or partner is holding any security of a. So if the firm has two partners, even if one partner is holding, then the other partner cannot be appointed as the auditor. Okay? Even if one partner is holding any security, any means even one, you cannot hold any security. Even one share you cannot hold in a company where you are auditing. Right? There is an exception for relative. For relative alone, they say a relative may hold shares of face value not exceeding 1 lakh. The face value of the shares should not exceed 1 lakh. Up to 1 lakh face value, relative can hold. Right? This exception is only in the 2013 Act. The similar disqualification in the 1956 Act, this 1 lakh exemption was not given. Even a relative could not know. In the 1956 Act, relative was not prohibited, and the auditor could not hold. Relative could hold, which is why I was holding shares in one of my clients before the law was amended. Before the law was amended, there was no prohibition. In fact, the promoter himself said, "Srikanth, why don't you also invest? You got money, you invest." So I had some surplus money at that time. So I said, "I'll invest." And I invested in shares of that company, which went off well. And 10 rupee share went on to become 150 rupees, 160 rupees or something. But then the law was amended and I could not hold those shares in the old law. But relative could hold. So I transferred it to my wife and she held it. Then later on when the company went for, they went for funding, when the first round of funding, the shares were sold at 150 rupees. She made a decent gain on that and she went on. See, again, I'm telling you openly, the law was like that. Now the law, no, relative. Then they said relative may hold shares, face value not exceeding 1 lakh. So up to 1 lakh relative can hold. The reason is, see, you can't control relatives also now. So they are saying up to 1 lakh, no problem. Okay. There is a popular misconception that wife will listen to what the husband is telling. Okay. General misconception is that wife will listen to what the husband is telling. Okay. This is not true. Okay. So you cannot control. Therefore, up to 1 lakh, okay, beyond that. Relative. Friends, the minute we say relative, you have to be very, very careful. Relative as defined under the Companies Act. You already saw the definition of relative. Okay, so you should remember who are all relatives. Only those people will be counted for relative. Any other person will not be counted. Okay, be careful. Though they may be related, they may are not relative under the Companies Act. If you remember, right? I dare say you remember the chart. I will anyway be showing you again, don't worry. Chalo. Similarly, a person who or his relative or partner is indebted. Indebted means due for an amount in excess of 5 lakhs. That is, either the person to be appointed as the auditor or his relative or partner has borrowed money or taken loan from the company in excess of 5 lakh. Up to 5 lakh, no problem. 5 lakh, 500,001. Gone. This, no exemption for relative. Even, but anyway, the amount is 5 lakhs now. So up to 5 lakhs, even auditor can be indebted. Beyond 5 lakhs, no. Also, if you are not borrowed, but you have provided a guarantee or security on behalf of a third person in excess of rupees 1 lakh. So you are not given a loan. I'm sorry, you have not borrowed, but you have provided a guarantee. Suppose that person does not perform or that person does not pay, you will become the borrower, na? You will be sued, na? So that liability will become yours later on. Or I don't know, later on. Contract Act, if you already studied, you would have studied contracts of guarantee, wherein when the surety is there and the principal debtor does not pay, automatically it becomes the liability of the surety. Therefore, ultimately surety will be liable. Therefore, they say you cannot guarantee or give any security on behalf of any third person in excess of 1 lakh. Okay. Father, mother, sister, brothers, including stepfather or mother, and as different. I don't know. If you know it fully correct, I don't want to. What you are given is not complete, Bhumika. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I will tell you fully. Now you can ask, sir, I am appointed as auditor. Suddenly, my relative is acquiring the shares. What happens? Immediately will I lose office? No. In the event of acquiring any security of interest by a relative, English is not mine. The English is not my English. I will not use such ungrammatical English. I have taken it directly from the barrack. That's why I put SIC. So it is printed or so it is stated. I am not responsible for the grammar. This is the fantastic grammar of the fantastic English usage of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. In the event of acquiring any security or interest by a relative. That is, they have literally translated from a vernacular into English. Literally. Whatever the syntax of the vernacular language, whichever language it is, they have directly translated into English. Okay. So in the event of acquiring any security or interest, what they are trying to say is in the event of a relative acquiring any security or interest. That's what they mean. In the event of a relative acquiring any security or interest above the threshold limit prescribed, the corrective action to maintain the limits as specified above shall be taken by the auditor within 60 days of such acquisition. So you are given a grace period of 60 days. You can take any corrective action. Either you can resign or you can ask that relative to reduce the holding so that it is below the threshold. Something you are given 60 days to take corrective action, okay, to maintain the limits. Or if nothing happens 60 days, you are out, you are disqualified. You cannot be appointed as you cannot act as an auditor. Relative definition, I'm again giving it for your clarity. Members of individual family, husband and wife, and rule 4. Rule 4, as rightly pointed out by Bhumika, father, mother, sister, brother, son, son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband. That you have missed out. Okay. Son, son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband. Wife included. Wife included. Father, mother, sister, brother, son, son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband. In this, stepfather, stepmother, stepsister, stepmother, stepson, but stepdaughter is not there. God only knows why. Okay. Try to remember. See, this chart, if you can memorize it or just keep it in your mind, you'll know simple. See, my dear Miss Bhumika, it is very simple. Individual, one level. Go one level above, father, mother. Individual, go back, go up, father, mother. Same level, sister, brother. One level below, son, daughter. Get them married, son's wife, daughter's husband. That's all. Easy to remember. Individual, one level above, father, mother. Same level, sister, brother. One level below, son, daughter. Get them married. Father and mother are already married, so don't get them married. Son, get married. Do your duty as an individual. Daughter, get married. Daughter's husband, son's wife, covered. Sister, brother and all, no. They may be married, but their husband or wife, as the case may be, not covered. Are you able to understand? Wife's father not covered. Wife's brother not covered. Brother-in-law is not a relative. All the in-laws are outclass. Please remember this. Okay, both the brothers-in-law are not there. Wife's brother also is not there. Sister's brother is also not there. Whether in India, we have only 2 types of brothers-in-law. One is wife's brother. In Tamil Nadu, we call machan. We say machans. The word machan, which is used by a lot of people. Even Hindi speakers will know the word machan. That is actually wife's brother. Also, you have brother's sister's husband. So called mama. Say sister's husband. Mostly we call mama. Most communities call mama in South. So, or baba. In Andhra Pradesh, you call baba. So that is sister's husband. Especially elder sister's husband will be baba. So that also not a relative. Baba also not a relative. Shivam Tiwari is asking as usual, a controversial question. Sir, suppose my brother doesn't want me to audit in particular company, audit a particular company. Then he will purchase security in that company, indirectly remove your auditing. Then this is not fair. First of all, why did you born as a brother of that brother? Yeah. That is not fair. Welcome to the world of brothers and sisters, my dear friend. Okay. Nothing can be done about it. What can you do? If your brother does it, that is what it is. Correct. He can do that. As you rightly say, he can do that. What can you do? You cannot be auditor of that company. This is not fair. Fair spelling is wrong. Baba, see, my guru always used to correct my English and my spelling more than anything else. That is the teacher's job. The spelling of fare is wrong. F-A-I-R. Because F-A-R-E is the amount that you pay for traveling by bus and all. Bus fare, car, taxi fare. F-A-R-E, fare. Fare is the amount you pay for being transported from one place to the other. Not fare. The word you are using is F-A-I-R. Fare. Other than that, there is one more fare, trade fare. So my college mates or my very close buddies will say, Machan, come on, don't tell that Machan like that. That Machan is more of it's a relationship, but it becomes a sort of a friendly thing also, Nanban or friend also. For it so happens, my wife's elder brother and I studied in college together. So in Vivekananda College, Chennai. And then of course, we became very good friends. We did business together. Then we fought with each other also, etc., etc. Then in that process, during that process, I married his sister also. He became my Machan. But normally also when I'm talking to him, I say Machan, vadange like that. But come here, Machan, like that. But basically, he's also my real Machan. He's my brother-in-law. Okay, it happens like that. So Shivam Tiwari, divorce your brother. I'll tell you one good idea, Shivam. I'll tell you, beautiful idea I'm telling you. Beautiful, ultimate idea I'm telling you. Listen to me. Your brother is buying a share in that company for the purpose of preventing you from being auditor. Now, what is the problem here? He is your brother. How he became your brother? Because he was born to the same father and mother. Now, what you do? You get yourself adopted by some other father. You become adopted son of some other father. Now, this gentleman will not be your brother. Legally. Now, he can hold share. Who is he? Stranger. You can be the auditor. What do you say, Shivam? Good idea, na? Sorry, you are talking legally, I am talking legally. If you are talking emotionally, I will talk emotionally. Since you are being very legal about it and asking a legal question, I am giving legal answer. You get yourself adopted. It can be done. Hindu law, it is allowed. And I am assuming you are a Hindu. Okay, I don't know about Islam and Christianity, but Hindu law, 100% adoption is allowed. Your Gotram, everything will change. You will no longer be the son of that family. For going very deeply, you cannot do anything for your birth parents. Thereafter, only your adopted parents you are responsible. Get yourself adopted. So he will no longer be your brother. That's it. I know what I'm telling may be irritating you, Tiwari ji, but your question is also complicated. Unnecessarily you are telling, see, if such a brother is there, either destroy that brother or do what I'm saying. Okay. Sorry. Don't get angry, Tiwari. Just a joke. Huh? Don't get serious. Okay. Problem with you CA students is you're all very serious. And later on, when you become members of the institute, you will become even more serious. You're not able to listen. You are not able to even understand a joke. Okay. You become very serious. Okay. So enjoy your life. If I hope you have a good brother and not like this, but still, yeah, your brother will not do so. Then why are you asking? Now see, you're backpedaling. Then why that elaborate question about what your brother is doing? Agreed. If you're trying to say it's a loophole in the law, I'm saying it is a loophole in human nature. What can the law do about it? The law is very clear, ma. The law feels that brother will be influencing you. Suppose he is a shareholder, he will influence you. Therefore, your independence will be lost. This is the basic legal principle operating here. Okay? Good. That is why, while asking this question, you should not have asked my brother. You should have asked Mr. A and B are brothers. Then it will become a hypothetical question and not for you. Since you use the word my brother only, I am giving the answer to you. Suppose he said Mr. A-B, I would have said A-B. That's all. Tiwari, come on. Ask some more questions like this. I'm waiting for your questions only. No problem. Yeah, good. I'm not saying you shouldn't ask questions, but you are always thinking in a very roundabout manner, sir. Good. That's also needed in our profession, especially when you go for income tax and all that. I'll tell you before I proceed with the next slide. My guru, Professor K.S. Anantharaman, another great guru I had, okay, and a mentor, I should say, and a mentor. He mentored me in certain crucial times in teaching and training. He has mentored me. I can tell you certain stories about a great man called C.A.R. Bhupati. He is a past president of our institute, C.A.R. Bhupati. He used to teach income tax. He still teaches, but in those days, in the heydays, he used to teach income tax in Chennai. Hundreds of students will come, 200 students will come to attend his classes. Very lively, very humorous. And he used to teach classes very simple. For a fool like me, who could not understand income tax, it was Mr. Bhupati who opened the eyes and showed me how simple it is. And he made me understand income tax, so that I've been practicing for 35 years now. Thanks to that knowledge he gave me at that time. Mr. R. Bhupati used to tell one story about this. Many students, they'll ask complicated tax planning questions and all. Sir, if I do like this, my brother does, my sister does, what like? No tax, no sir, no tax, no sir, like that. Correct. But sometimes the tax planning can be very dangerous. And he used to tell the story as a matter of warning to us. See, I'm sure all of you are familiar with income tax, and I'm teaching company law, so I should not go into income tax, but I'm sure you're all familiar with deeming provisions. I'm sure. I'm surprised Darshan is not there, but all of you know deeming provisions. Am I correct? 64 and all that. Where in case an asset is being transferred for inadequate consideration to a spouse, then the income from that asset will be clubbed in the hands of the transferor, or the income of the spouse, whosoever income is higher. So basic deeming provision, clubbing of income provisions, clubbing provisions, we call it, where just like that you transfer one asset to somebody, to your wife or husband, with the purpose being to reduce the income slab, then automatically that money will be clubbed in the hands of the spouse, whosoever income is higher. This is the law. But in one case, what happened? There was a very rich gentleman, very rich. He had a lot of properties, rental income coming. In those days, the slabs were also different. So he went to his auditor and he said, for your information, I'm going to get married, auditor. Oh, really? I'm so happy. No, that and all. You tell me tax planning. You are the auditor, I'm paying you money. Tell me tax planning. How to, based on this, my intention to marry this lady, can I do any tax planning? The auditor said, I will give you a fantastic idea, because clubbing provision will apply only if you are transferring to a spouse. You transfer these assets, 50% of her assets, you transfer to her. Now, when she is not your spouse, what do you say? At that time, there was no 56(1). It was not taxed. So this fellow transferred all the 50% of his assets. He transferred it to that lady, and he was also very happy. At last, wonderful auditor taught me tax planning, how to see straight away my income is getting halved and I'm paying only like that. All that, you are so happy. On the day of the marriage, sorry to say, the lady was not to be found. Sorry, I know some of you are, if your sense of humor is good, you will enjoy it. Otherwise, you get angry with me. The lady was not available. The auditor was also not available, I say. Okay. So sometimes this tax planning and complicated methodology for evading tax can put you in deep trouble. So better not go there. Wonderful. Moving on. Kavita, I will answer your question at the end of the class. Do not interrupt the class. Do not ask a question during the class. At the end of the class, you can ask. I will definitely answer. Wait for the class to get over. Nearing 8:20, you can either copy paste it again. I will answer it. At that time, there was no 56(2), Maha. That's what I'm trying to tell you. At that time, the story was told to us in 1986, 84. The law was totally different at that time. Now it's all not possible. Now it is not possible. The story was told to us by C.A.R. Bhupati in a different legal framework, and it was not. And again, you are being a typical, Thakurji is being a typical chartered accountant. Enjoy the humor. The idea is, the underlying moral, like a Panchatantra story, is too much tax planning can be dangerous. Okay, trying to evade the law is never good. Using your intelligence only for the purpose of avoiding tax is not a good idea. Okay, this is the humble submission. That is not why you are spending so much time to become a chartered accountant, to help criminals to evade tax. That is not your job. Don't define your professional work as some kind of helping these criminals to evade tax. Don't define it that way. Okay, you have a larger purpose as a professional. Okay, helping them to be compliant, advising them correctly on the law, helping them to obey the law, helping them to grow and financially enhance their profitability and wealth. This is your role as a chartered accountant, rather than doing all sorts of the sections and all that, mugging up and then this section, that section, Supreme Court, High Court, right? So finally, all the Supreme Court decisions, High Court decisions, when they go to appeal, they will be rejected. And your case will be seen on the facts, and you will get what you deserve only. This is my experience over the last 35 years. You cannot totally rely on, unless it's a Supreme Court decision, all 4 facts straight away, and then you don't have to waste your time. Department itself will not go near that, because they know Supreme Court is already clearly ordered on that. They won't go there. Even if there is a iota of doubt, they will pass the order in their favor. Then you will go on appeal, keep on going till High Court, Supreme Court. By then, 15 years, client will also get one. It's not worth it. This is the view. The view expressed herein is the view of your faculty who has 35 years of experience in practice as a successful PCA. Of course, there are a lot of people who do tax evasion, earn a lot of money, but that is not what you are supposed to do. That is not why you are becoming a member of our institute. Okay. Chalo, going on with our auditor topic. A person or a firm who, whether directly or indirectly, has business relationship with the company or its subsidiary or its holding company or associate company or subsidiary of such holding company or associate. So this is the list you have to keep on remembering. Here also it will be there. Got it? Similarly here. Here they are including one more item. That is subsidiary of such holding company or associate company. Even subsidiary of associate company you cannot have business relationship. What is a business relationship? Business relationship shall be construed as any transaction entered into for commercial purpose. So the relationship is commercial purpose. Any transaction, whether you buy or sell. Okay. Okay. So a person or firm who, whether or directly or indirectly, has business relationship with the company. So if you buy or sell. So business relationship is construed as any transaction entered into for a commercial purpose. Except, this exception is very, very important. Please pay attention. Except commercial transactions which are in the nature of professional services permitted to be rendered by an auditor or audit firm under the Act, under the Chartered Accountants Act and the rules and regulations. Under the Chartered Accountants Act, you are permitted to give tax advisory services to your client. Under the Chartered Accountant Act, you can give tax audit. You can do tax audit. You can certify transfer pricing certificate. You can do certification work. All these are professional services permitted to be rendered. Of course, there are certain prohibited services, which you will see later in 144. Okay. Now, the Code of Ethics of the Chartered Accountants, Institute of Chartered Accountants, is a recommendatory. Okay. It is recommendatory. You have to comply with it. Okay. Idea is it is prescribed as some sort of a guideline to you to ensure that you are not violating the Code of Ethics. But the Chartered Accountants Act as such, okay, does not prohibit you from giving tax advisory services to your client. Okay. So long as the Code of Conduct is you don't ensure that your independence is not affected. That is more. See, I'll come to the point a little later. Right now, I want you to understand that, sir, suppose I'm also tax auditor, will that amount to commercial transactions, sir? No, it is not. It's the nature of professional service permitted to be rendered. You can do it. Okay. If it is prohibited, then you can't. Similarly, commercial transactions which are in the ordinary course of business of the company at arm's length price, like sale of products or services to the auditor as customer in the ordinary course of business by companies engaged in the business of telecommunication, airline, hospital, hotel, and such other similar businesses. Okay. So anything which is sale of products or services or any other business, like for example, see, the KPMG may be auditor for Airtel. Does it mean partner KPMG cannot have an Airtel connection? Definitely. Similarly, PricewaterhouseCoopers may be auditor for SpiceJet. I don't know. I think KPMG is auditor for EY is the auditor for SpiceJet. So you mean to say they can't travel by SpiceJet Airlines? They can. If the flight is not cancelled, they can. Okay. So long as the flight is there, they can travel. Otherwise, SpiceJet flight will be cancelled. That is the problem. Okay. So if the flight is not cancelled, they can. After all, what is there? In the ordinary course of business, they can use it. Anything done in the ordinary course of business. See, you may be the auditor for ITC Limited. Doesn't mean so you can't say you cannot stay in ITC hotel. You can. But be careful. It should be at arm's length price. Let us say that you are the auditor for a very well-known, reputed automobile manufacturing company, Hyundai. You are the auditor for Hyundai. Okay, agreed. Now they are giving a new car, brand new car, whatever. Okay. You want to buy that car. You can. If you are the company's auditor, you call up the dealership, they may give you some preferences. For example, they may deliver the car early. Normally the car takes 6 months, you might get it immediately. They might push something out and put you in the queue faster. But the price should be the same price that a normal customer would buy in the showroom. You cannot get a better price than that. Suppose they are giving you a better price than that, then it is a violation. Are you able to understand? Okay. Suppose they are giving a discount on a particular model. Discount. Straight away they are saying, if you buy this model, 40,000 on the list price. Straight away. You take that 40,000 discount. Is it arm's length? It is. Provided all customers who are buying that car will get 40,000 discount. You are also getting, no problem. Any special discount given to you as an auditor violation. You cannot do it. You should not do it. So, are you able to understand? In commercial, if you are in the ordinary course of business of the company at arm's length price, no problem. Please go ahead, enjoy. Because who can prevent you, boss? See, actually, one of my clients, we converted them into a private limited company, continued to become their auditors. They manufacture tamarind, the tamarind, okay, imli. They get imli, very beautiful, very good imli. And once, what happened, that guy gave me a sample. Before I became the auditor, he gave me a sample. Then I got it, and my wife made rasam and all. Sambar, she liked it. And she said, I don't know, Srikanth, whatever you are going to do, I want that imli. Now, if I tell her, now I am the auditor of that company, I cannot buy imli, she'll say, go, your auditor, you go to hell, I want that imli. I can buy. Provided, so I told the gentleman, please send me 5 kilos of imli. Okay, sir. Then I said, please send me an invoice. What you are telling, sir, you are, no. Send me an invoice at the current market price, whatever you are charging to other customer, send it to me, I will pay for it. That's all. If I pay for it, no problem, no free. So reluctantly, he sent an invoice. I made a bank transfer and kept the record in my file. Because tomorrow, like your brother, somebody, Tiwari's brother, my brother wants to make life miserable for me, better keep proof ready to say that, look here, yes, I bought imli, but I paid for it at arm's length price. The same price that normal purchaser would have paid. That's all. So this is what it is all about. Now, so I was explaining E, commercial business relationship. Now F, a person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or key managerial personnel. So you want to appoint Mr. A as the auditor. A's relative, as per the Companies Act, is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or KMP. Either a non-executive director or employee director, executive director, or a KMP, key managerial person, whatever it is. Company secretary, CFO, the key managerial person, right? A person who is in full-time employment elsewhere, okay, cannot be an auditor of a company. Full-time employment cannot be auditor. Or a person or a part. See, if you are in full-time employment, you can continue to hold a certificate of practice for your information. I'm sure you are experts in auditing, so you know better than me. But still, even if you are in employment, you can continue to hold your certificate of practice, COP. But because you are having COP, if you are in full-time employment elsewhere, you cannot be a statutory auditor of a company. That COP can be used by you, maybe giving some certificates, etc., but not for, you cannot be a statutory auditor. A person who is in full-time employment elsewhere. Or a person or a partner of a firm holding appointment as its auditor, if such persons or partner is at the date of such appointment or reappointment, holding appointment as auditor of more than 20 companies. So, you are going to appoint a firm as auditor. Then you should check who is the partner who is going to be appointed. That partner should not be auditor of more than 20 companies. Got it? So, in case of private companies, the following are excluded. So, while counting the 20, for counting the 20 companies, one-person company not included. Dormant companies not included. Small companies not included. You already know the definition of small company. That will push out a lot of categories. That will push out a lot of companies now, because many companies will now fall under the small company definition, right? So you can push out. Lastly, private companies having paid up share capital less than 100 crore rupees. So once you start your practice, 10 years down the line, 3 partners doing great. A lot of companies are coming. You have to be careful. Start counting. How many companies are there? Out of that, then each partner 20, 20, 20. But out of these companies, remove OPC, dormant, small, private company having paid up share capital less than 100 crore. Remaining, suppose you are 3 partners. You take out all these companies. The remaining companies, totally for the firm as a whole, cannot exceed 60. Per partner cannot exceed 20, right? So in our firm, luckily now we have 6 partners. But even then, it's basically me, myself, not me, myself, me, my father, and one other partner. Between us, we have to divide. We have to see. The rest of them I cannot push because they have their own load. I cannot push mine there. So my number is going beyond 60. I can't go. Luckily, I can remove OPC, dormant, and small. Okay. Sir, can't be an auditor in that company or any company. At that, no. A person who is in full-time employment elsewhere. A person who is in full-time employment cannot be appointed as an auditor of any company. To answer your question. Okay, so you are appointing him you want to appoint him as an auditor. You ask him, are you in full-time employment elsewhere? Yes, you cannot be appointed as an auditor. Got it? See, when a person is in full-time employment and holding COP, he is called part-time practice, right? It's possible. You can be in part-time practice. You can hold COP because that way your duration of COP holding will be counted. So some people will claim, I am holding COP from that day. But you have to pay extra fees to the institute and all. Many people will surrender the COP once they get into full-time employment. Because where is the time, yeah? If you are employed in one company, that itself will be enough for you. You cannot do more. Anyway. So, correct. Keshodhan. Hey, what happened to Darshan? Yeah, enjoying life. He is not attending today. Anyway, hopefully he will see this in video and he will hear me telling Darshan is not there. Anyway, good. I hope Sweetie Kumariji, your question is answered. He cannot be appointed in any company. The minute he is going to be appointed, we will ask him. In any company, we will ask him, are you in full-time employment elsewhere? Yes, get out. You cannot be our auditor. Again, are you having more than 20 companies? Is your firm? Got it. Individually, every partner limit is 20. Totally whatever into number of partners into 20. Out of that, please remember, you can exclude a one-person company, dormant, small, and private, having paid up share capital less than 100 crore rupees. For which we thank the MCA with folded arms and we say thank you, because if they put some condition, it will become a big problem. Okay. See, there are 2 reasons why for this 20. One is how much attention can a person give to his audits. So, successful CA can, for example, 100 companies, 120 companies we have. I have myself sourced those companies. I have gone and marketed and networked and bought it. Now, I cannot audit 100 companies, 120 companies, I cannot audit. So, that way what happens, I will automatically have to take new partners. That way, automatically, other members of the profession get an opportunity. Are you able to understand? And so, I will get more partners and try to distribute my marketing activity. I will distribute it among them. Like that. I mean, this is natural now. And also, if you permit him to, however great he is, so like my friend, Sivam Tiwari, brilliant. He can handle 100 companies, but still negligence will be there because one person can. We are only human. We are not God. So they say 20 is enough. Concentrate on 20 companies. OPC, okay, dormant, small, and not much work. So other than these companies, you are including private companies, you cannot have more than 20. Only private companies having paid up share capital less than 100 crore exempted. This way, many companies get exempted. In my case, I am closing 20. My father is close 20, but still we have one partner who is not completed 20 in this category. Other than in the other category, a small company, private company having paid up share capital, there are a lot of companies, but they are not counted for 20. Okay. I'm giving you my own personal examples. I hope you are not offended or hurt by that, because that way you will understand it. That is why I'm giving you my own examples. I'm sure you will have your own knowledge of examples, but I thought I would share my. After all, I've been in practice for 35 years now. So with that background, I thought I could share some of my examples. As I keep on repeating to my students, I am not a professional teacher. I am not a professional teacher. That means a college professor, doctorate and all, they will teach. I am not a professional teacher. I am a professional who is a teacher. I am a professional, a chartered accountant in practice, a consultant, a trainer who is a teacher. Okay, so for your information. So I am bringing 2 things here. Knowledge, of course, of the law, etc., which even a college professor can come and teach. Beyond that, I am a member of your institute talking to you. So that way I thought I could add a little more value to you with your permission. Okay. A person who has been convicted by a court of an offense involving fraud and a period of 10 years has not elapsed from the date of such conviction. It's very sad to note that a member of our profession can even contemplate such behavior. But then, if he has behaved like that, and that it's not enough if he has behaved like that, a case will be filed in court, case will go on. He has been convicted. Convicted means found guilty of an offense involving fraud, and a period of 10 years has not elapsed there was one famous case, one auditor of that, what is that Birla case, one lady, one Birla, I forget her name. Birla, her auditor, he falsified the will. And I forget the names. It was about 10 years ago, 7 years or 10 years ago, it was a very popular case. Birla, her name, the lady's surname was Birla, of course from the Birla family, but she was being cheated by her auditor and all that. And similarly, the auditors of one, I think that there are a lot of cases. See, this is going beyond professional negligence, boss. This is going beyond professional negligence. For example, many chartered accountants, what they will do, they will handle the funds of the client. They will also take the funds of the client and they will rotate them and let them out on loan and all. It's not allowed, but they will do it. And while doing that, it will be, NFRA will not take action. NFRA will take only for professional misconduct. Okay, this will be police case. Straight away, police will be not. The case will be filed under the Indian Penal Code, 420 of the Indian Penal Code. Police will be not. This fraud, it will not go to the NFRA. NFRA only professional misconduct. That is where you are supposed to exercise professional judgment, which you have not done. You have been guilty of gross negligence, or you have been guilty of some other professional misconduct in the course of execution of your duties as a chartered accountant in practice. Whereas this is total fraud. There are people who will take money from the client. All sorts of nonsense they will do. So then the client will get angry. See, that is where the problem is. You are a chartered accountant. You are in an advisory capacity. You should also not get involved in their financial affairs. For example, a chartered accountant should not, even for an individual client, forget company, even for an individual client, I should not manage the portfolio. Are you able to understand what I'm saying? I should not do the portfolio management for their client. Suppose their portfolio, it so happens that I am very good at portfolio management. I handle my own portfolio. But as a member in practice, I will not do portfolio management for my client. Because where is the independence pass? One side, I am the auditor, trusted advisor. On the other side, I'm going to recommend mutual funds and shares. Definitely there. It's not correct. Somewhere I see there is an ethical. I don't need the Institute of Chartered Accountants to tell me that this is not very ethical. I prefer not to. So when they come to me for advice, I give them impartially. And I say, look here, this is my view. Thereafter, in addition to me, you consult somebody else also and take their advice. For executing the transaction, please go to a broker or to a wealth management consultant and appoint them as your agent. No, Mr. Srikanth, why don't you yourself take care? I will give you 1 crore. You take care. Sorry. Then there are people whom I know who are very trusted in my panel of consultants. I say, Mr. So-and-so is a wealth management consultant who is my trusted friend. Kindly go to him and do as he says. Then I will send my recommendation to the client, to that person and say, look here, this is my recommendation to this client, but you are the advisor. Now you do what is best for them. You take into account my advice. Then he'll go through, hey, Srikanth, sir, you are given the advice like this. And how can I? No, don't be influenced by what I'm saying. I am not. Forget that I'm the auditor. Act independently, advise them, push them out so that they go there. I'm giving this because, see, this is the essence of our independence. The minute I take that 1 crore, I start investing in the market, all sorts of nonsense will happen. Then that is when the fraud starts. The greed comes. So much money is going through my hands. I need money suddenly. I'll take some money out and use it. Then with the hope that, one day I will, what is there? I'll replace it. Then something happens. Market collapses. I'm unable to replace. Client discovers. Then the client files a case against me, against the chartered accountant. For what? For fraud. Not to the SFI, NFRA, to the police. Straight away arrest, remand, 2 days remand. Why all this? Then come out on bail. Why all this? It's not worth it. Nothing is worth the shame. What do you say? Whatever you may earn, it's not worth that shame. In addition to this, professional misconduct is also possible. As in the case of Ramlinga Raju's Satyam case, the auditor and all. That is professional misconduct, where NFRA would be involved. And SFIO also would be involved, where the amount involved is huge, serious fraud investigation officer will come. But for this type of defalcation by a CA, SFIO and all won't come. Policeman is enough. The local inspector will come and say, please come to the station and talk to me. Then he will say, sir, kindly don't mistake me. We can't arrest you. You yourself surrender bail. Or you go and get anticipatory bail before I arrest you. Like that, that much respect they'll give. That's all. Please take, we have got a complaint, sir. Definitely I have to arrest her. But in the meantime, you go and get anticipatory bail. I'll come to your house. You show me the bail, I'll go. Then you please come and regularly. The case will be filed in all. Charge sheet and all. Why all this shame now? Yeah, definitely. Once they have been offense involving fraud, straight away debarred. You go to when you're studying auditing, code of ethics, there you will clearly see. Once come on, you cannot practice. Yeah. And that too, you cannot be appointed as an auditor for 10 years from the date of conviction. Okay. A person who directly or indirectly renders any service referred to in section 144 of the company or its holding company or its subsidiary. So, if that person is directly or indirectly rendering any service referred to in section 144, then either to this company or to its holding or subsidiary company, then he is automatically disqualified. Got it? The minute that service is rendered, he is no more disqualified, which means that will become a casual vacancy and the company will have to appoint another auditor. Straight away. So I cannot act. So you decide. So you will have to, they will come to you and say, we also want you to do project evaluation services indirectly through another company, whatever you are doing. First you should say, my dear friends, I cannot be your auditor anymore. If you're okay, then I will do it like that. So, can person in point G be in employment? I don't understand. I don't understand your question, Manav. If you want to appoint a person as an auditor of your company, such a person should not be in full-time employment elsewhere. If he is in full-time employment, he may be holding COP, if that's what you're asking. But he cannot be in employment. If he is in employment as full-time employment elsewhere, he cannot be an auditor here. Got it? The word used is full-time employment. Good. Of course, he cannot be an employee of that company. Here we already saw, na? He cannot be an employee of that company. Of that company, he cannot be. If you want to appoint him as an auditor, he should not be a full-time employee of any company. A person convicted by court be in employment instead of auditor. It's up to you. You can employ him, but you cannot appoint him as an, we are seeing here auditor's disqualification, not employment disqualification. Employment, it's up to you, boss. If you want to take a fraudulent fellow as your employee, welcome. Please go ahead and take him. What are the services referred to in 144? It will be my unfortunate and fortunate duty to explain to you, Mohammed. So hold on. Calm yourself. Wait. I will tell you. Not now. Abhi to nahi. Thodi se de baat. Thodi si de baat. I got it right? Trying to learn Hindi. Yeah. I feel bad that I cannot speak Hindi. But what to do? Buddha ho gaya na. So how to learn this language? I'm trying my best. So wherever possible, I try to speak in Hindi. But see, in Tamil, we call our language the personification as mother. So Tamil has mother, Tamil Thai, mother. So like that, if Hindi has a Hindi mother, that mother will come and hit me the way I spoil that language by speaking very bad Hindi. She will come and hit me. In fact, when I was in Bihar, that was in 1997, I was doing a systems consulting for a big company in Gaya in Bihar, where I was spent almost 15 days in Gaya. Okay. In the factory, I used to go every day in the morning. I'll go there, sit, do the studying. My team will be there. Then finally, we gave a report, systems audit report, a suggestion for improvement and all that. We also designed a software for them. That was a big job we did. So when I was in Bihar in Gaya, every day, that systems guy, there was a guy in the systems department, the IT department, who had who BR gentleman, was a very, very brilliant guy. We intellectually, very nice guy. So he used to speak a very, very pidgin Hindi, English, very bad English, but it chalta hai. And I could sort of get along in my Hindi, little bit of a gutter Hindi I used to speak. Now with that Hindi, but we became very close. And after the day is over, around 5:36 only, we'll complete the work. Now after that, they will order samosa, kachori and all that, and chai, and we'll sit in the lawn on the grass, and he will recite Bihari poems. He will recite a poem in Bihari and roughly translate it in English for me. I will recite Bharadiyar or other poem in Tamil and translate it for him. So it used to be so enjoyable, half an hour, 45 minutes, and we will all enjoy. Then my car will come, I'll get into the car with my boys, and before leaving, I will tell this guy, kal dekh lenge, like that I will tell him. Then when one day before I was going to leave, we are discussing the report, the GM of that IT company, he was telling me, Srikant, any problem with that boy? Are you angry with him like that? No, sir. Why? I want to recommend promotion for that fellow. He's such a brilliant guy. And why are you saying like that? No. Every day you're telling, kal dekh lenge. What do you mean, kal dekh lenge? Because he will kal dekh lenge you, because that guy is the brother of one of the very important people, the politically connected fellow in this area, Gaya. And he's asking me, why Saab is telling kal dekh lenge. I said, I didn't know that. So kal dekh lenge. I'll take care of you tomorrow. I didn't know that meaning. So then he said, Srikant, don't say kal dekh lenge, say fir milenge. Okay. So like that, language is very, very funny. And I'm so happy to know that there are a lot of people from Gaya in Bihar here. I spent a very pleasant 15-20 days in Gaya. And a nice place, very nice. And given all that Bihar, it's a beautiful place. I loved it. And food was excellent. Just to enjoy the Bihari Kana and all that. Excellent. I'm happy to know Sudhanshu is from Gaya and Sweetie is also from Bihar. Nice to know. Good. Hamara Bharat Mahan. Good. Going on. So I will tell you what is 144. Now, if a person, think about it. A person is appointed. Then he acquires the disqualification. Something. Relative buys the share, like our friend Tiwari's brother. Then 60 days over. That 60 days time is also over. Then automatically he'll be disqualified. So if a person appointed as an auditor of a company incurs any of the disqualifications, if a person appointed as an auditor of a company incurs any of the disqualifications specified in section 141(3), he shall be deemed to have vacated his office. I told you now, for example, on a particular day, you are rendering one service which is prohibited with raising a bill. That day, that auditor will be deemed to be vacating his office. Once he is deemed to have vacated, that vacation will be deemed to be a casual vacancy. And that casual vacancy, how it can be filled, we will see in subsequent class. We will be talking about resignation, etc. At that time, we will see how it will be filled. But what you should remember, acquiring any of the disqualification, if he incurs any of the disqualification, he shall be deemed to have vacated his office. Such vacation shall be deemed to be a casual vacancy in the office of the auditor. Right? So now, to test our awareness, this is a very important topic from the exam point of view. Frequently tested topic. Regularly questions come from this topic. Which topic? Not auditors. Disqualification. Alone. On disqualification, regularly they will ask questions. So here are some of the questions for you to answer. So I'm not going to give the answer. I'm going to wait for you to give. Then I will give my view or whatever. If you are right, you are right. Very, very simple questions. It's not difficult questions. Now that you have the knowledge. CA Vikas is appointed as the auditor of ABC Limited on 17/7/2019. On 15/4/2020, his brother is appointed as non-executive director on the board of ABC Limited. What are the consequences? 17/7 he is appointed. 15/4 his brother is appointed. What happens? This is when you're writing this answer, it's actually basically a theory question. wherein you should say a person is, you should begin here. A person is disqualified from being appointed as an auditor of a company where or if his relative is a director of the company. His relative is a director. If a person appointed as an auditor incurs any of the disqualification, he shall be deemed to have vacated his office. Such vacation shall be deemed to be casual vacancy. Now, so what are the consequences? Now you come to the point. You say, see, somebody wanted me to explain how to answer. Nah, this is how you have to answer. So you first write the law, then, or you can begin by saying, this is a question on disqualification of auditors. Then write the law. Then write in the given case or in the given instance or in this case, CA Vikas was already appointed on 17/7. Subsequently, subsequently, his brother is appointed on 15/4 as non-executive director. Therefore, the CA Vikas will be automatically deemed to be disqualified. There is a casual vacancy. Later on, we will talk about how the casual vacancy should be filled. That also you can, board of directors can appoint in this case. Okay. Now, so he was appointed on 17/7/2019 for auditing 1920. Audit of 1920, how can you say there is no consequence, Mr. Manav? Because this guy is appointed as director on 15/4/2020. So 31/3/2020 accounts, who will audit it? Can Vikas audit? 31/3/2020 accounts, can Vikas audit? Because on the day when he is going to sign it, definitely he can't sign it on 13/4 or 14/4. What you should do then, you should make him sign on 14/4 or 13/4 before his brother is appointed. That means the audit was completed before 13/4. If it's possible, you can do that. Otherwise, sorry, at the date of signing of the balance sheet, he should be qualified, sir. So it depends on the date of signing of the balance sheet. Suppose he's signing the balance sheet on 13th or 14th, midnight, no problem. Okay. My humble view, it's better that you say he is disqualified. Okay. Mano may have to explain to me why. When you're saying 1920, I think you mean financial year 1920. Sorry. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying date of signing of the balance sheet becomes very relevant. Boss, I have signed the balance sheet on the 2nd of April. Okay. I've signed it on the 2nd of April. We will release it on 2nd of April. That's the only thing I asked. 1 day, 24 hours ke baad, because 1/4 is April Fool's Day. On that day, you should not announce your accounts. However much you are making everybody fool, don't do it on April Fool's Day. Okay, like that he was laughing. He said, no. Okay, Srikanth, you cut your jokes and come to the point. Can you do it? Then we can do it. By February, you give me everything. I have complete my audit as on February. March, I will continuously audit. Transaction only we'll audit, whatever. Then provisioning and all we'll keep ready. After all, we know we'll keep everything ready provisionally. Any changes happening midnight on 31st March, we will see. Inshallah, nothing happens on the 1st of April. 1st of April, we'll finalize it, boss. 2nd of April, I'll sign your balance sheet. You also see. Can do. So in up to February, pakka audit. Thorough audit. March alone will be happening continuously. Like that we used to do. Just for your information. No compromises. No compromises. 2nd of April. So if your friend can do, if this gentleman Vikas can do on 13th or 14th, no problem. Otherwise, it will be a problem. Yes, he would need to have vacated his office. Now coming to Shyam, Ram, brother of C.A. Shyam, a practicing chartered accountant, acquired, see, like our Tiwari ka brother. So I think Ram Tiwari and Shyam Tiwari. Sorry, Mr. Tiwari, Shivam Tiwari, don't mistake me, Tiwari, because it is you who gave this example, not me. You only told brother. So, because you'll be disqualified, correct. Shivam Tiwari, don't get angry with me, okay? So, but then see how it see this fellow, Mr. Ram, brother of C.A. Shyam, practicing CA, acquired securities of Mr. School Limited, having market value of 1,20,000, face value 95,000. State whether C.A. Shyam is qualified to be appointed as a statutory auditor. What is your answer? Okay, sorry, I will not make fun. Don't mistake. Okay? If you're taking it very seriously, I will not do it. Sorry. Okay, no problem. We'll cut the... No problem. But see, this is a real case where your brother is acquiring. But okay, Shivam Tiwari, you tell me, can Shyam continue as an auditor? Okay, be serious. Let's be serious, Tiwari. I'm sorry. Now you come to the point. Can he be appointed? Sweetie Kumari gives the answer. She says, C.A. Shyam is still qualified to be appointed as an auditor as his relative is holding securities of only 95,000 below the threshold of 1 lakh. Will your answer be different if the shares have a face value of 1 lakh or 1,05,000? One lakh, what happens? See, what you need to understand, 1 lakh. See how I'm grading it. 95, 1 lakh. What happens at 1 lakh? If you want, I'll show you the slide again so that you will know. Holding any security or interest in the company. Holding any security. Relative may hold shares of face value not exceeding 1 lakh. Not exceeding 1 lakh. So up to 1 lakh, no problem. 1,05,000, Mr. Shyam will be disqualified. Okay? Whatever. Good. Now, this one, it's a beautiful love story, I would say. Okay? It's a beautiful love story. But again, no. I should not have any emotions. I'm a chartered accountant. I should be very serious. So tell me. Correct. Manavji gives a very good answer. The limit for the relative is 1 lakh and then C.A. Shyam is qualified. Also in case of face value 1 lakh, also no disqualification. However, face value 1 lakh, beautifully said. Sweetie Kumari, his relative acquired more than threshold limit of 1 lakh in face value, he is disqualified. Correct. Just to clarify, that's all. This problem, see, actually the exam problem only talks about 95,000. I am adding these two options to help you understand. Below threshold, 1 lakh also not disqualified, 1,05,000 disqualified. Correct. Now, C.A. Anil was appointed as auditor of DEF Limited on 30/9/2019. While conducting the audit, he met C.S. Neha, the company secretary of the company. They fell in love with each other and got married on 15/1/2020. What are the consequences of this vis-a-vis the continuance of C.A. Anil as auditor? See, C.A. Anil at the time of appointment, he is not married to Neha. Subsequently, after he becomes auditor, he falls in love and get married on 15/1/2020. Okay. This again is based on this section. A person whose relative is a key, is in the employment of the company as a director or key managerial person. Here, Neha ji is a key managerial person. She is the company secretary. Okay. So when he marries her, she becomes his wife. Wife is a relative. So on 15/1/2020, date of marriage, Anil will be disqualified. Correct. See, please understand, Neha is not appointed subsequently. Neha was always the company secretary. Anil was appointed as auditor. She was company secretary at that time. Nothing wrong. Because at the time when Anil was appointed, they are not husband and wife. Subsequently, she becomes a relative. Right? At that point in time, the disqualification. Of course, Neha can resign. Neha can resign before the marriage. But she will say, go to hell. Nah. Today's girls are not like that. They'll say, why should I resign? This is my career. Why should I resign? You resign as auditor. That's all. And you get one more. There are so many companies where you can be auditor. Why this company like that? Okay. So on the date 15/1/2020, he will be disqualified. On the date of 15/1/2020, he'll be disqualified. I want you to remember that point. Okay. The date is when the lady becomes his wife. At that time, he will be disqualified. So we go on with some more questions on this. But this is a very, very ripe. Can you see how many times they have asked questions? This is not an exam question. This is cooked up by the evil brain of Srikanth. Okay. But this is an exam question. Yes, it is. This is also a casual vacancy. On 15/1/2020, CA Anil, ideally what CA Anil should do is, he should resign. He should resign. But if he does not resign, then on the date of marriage, it is a casual vacancy. Absolutely correct. It is a casual vacancy and that will be filled up by the directors. No, not after marriage. CS Neha, if she wants the disqualification not to come, should resign and be relieved before 15/1. After then, gone. You understand my point? After then, what is the point? There is no big deal in resigning after 15/1. Please understand, Shivamji. Don't mistake. I am telling something in your interview. You're getting angry. I'm very, very sorry. Okay. If I tell anything, you're getting angry. I'm very sorry. Okay. So this is the CS Neha after marriage. No. Before marriage. I hope you understand the technical point here. Before, the date is very important. On 15/1 also, it's not work because on that day, the disqualification happen. So if she wants to resign and be a good supportive wife, then she should resign on before 15/1 and be relieved before 15/1. On the date of marriage, she should not be an employee of COL, of the DEF Limited. Okay. After marriage, nothing is this. She can be a KMP after marriage. Before marriage, she should cease to be a KMP. On the date of marriage, she should not be a KMP. Please understand this point. Again, I'm telling you, some of you will get angry with me because I'm giving humanitarian examples and human relationships. But the fact is that these human relationships also have legal consequences. And these legal consequences is what I'm teaching you, right? So the legal consequences on the date of marriage, if she is a KMP, Mr. Anil is disqualified. So if CS Neha wants to do any good for her future husband, she should resign before 15/1. I'm being very careful. I use the word future husband. Because on 15/1, if she's a KMP, subsequent resignation makes no sense. Because anyway, he'll be disqualified. Again, he has to be reappointed. Why all that? Okay. No problem. Because sometimes, I will be very casual. Don't mistake me. I've been like this. See, in the Three Idiots movie now, I don't know who that actor is. Not Amir Khan or the other Srikanth, the other one. That is when they just go and, he will be interviewed. At that time, they'll tell him, person like you, we cannot have as our thing. You are so straightforward and honest like that. He will say, sir, I have struggled so hard to attain this attitude. I cannot change this attitude. So it took me 57 long years to attain this casual attitude, this humor, this fun-lovingness. I am not going to give it up for anybody. You also, I suggest don't get cool. Okay, cool. All is well. All is well. Cool. Okay. Examine whether the following persons are eligible for being appointed as auditor. Similar questions, just quickly we can. Mr. Prakash is a practicing chartered accountant and Mr. Akash, who is a relative of Prakash. They're not saying any relative. Is holding securities of ABC Limited, having face value of 70,000. Market value 110,000. Directors of ABC Limited want to appoint Prakash as an auditor. I think that there's no need for you to worry. They can go ahead. See, these are similar questions. Ram and Sham and Prakash and Akash, similar question. Answer is they can appoint. Mr. Ramesh is a practicing chartered accountant indebted to MNP Limited for 6 lakhs. Directors haven't wanted. Can they appoint? Okay, Sharman Joshi, Raju, correct. Thank you for that. I'll remember Sharman Joshi. Good. Now, so Mr. Ramesh is practicing chartered accountant indebted to MNP Limited for 6 lakhs. Directors of MNP Limited want to appoint Mr. Ramesh as an auditor. No, Ramesh is disqualified. Because he is indebted to MNP Limited for amount in exceeding rupees 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs is the threshold. More than 5 lakhs, not allowed. Beautiful. Aisha, this is a beautiful. If you write like this in the exam, you will get full, not full marks, 95% marks you will get. If you write the way you have written. Others also, if you are able to see the query pad, copy paste Aisha's answer there. The way she has written it is exactly how exam they will expect you to write the answer. Beautiful. So in 2 cases, they cannot appoint. 3, Mr. KVJ, Mrs. KVJ, spouse of Mr. Kumar, a chartered accountant, is the storekeeper of PRC Limited. Directors of PRC Limited want to appoint Mr. Kumar. Can they appoint? 3, I'm waiting for your answers. 3, I won't give the answer. You have to give the answer. 3, I'm waiting for your answers. Manav. Bhumika says 1 qualified, agreed. 2 disqualified. Bhumika ji says 3 also disqualified. Whereas Manav says it's allowed since the relative is not KMP. So I hope Bhumika will understand. Manav is right. Manav Agarwal is correct. Okay. Where he says 3, Mr. Kumar cannot be appointed as the spouse is an employee. Sir, spouse employee not a problem. Please understand this part. Person whose relative is a director or is in the employment of the company as a director or KMP. So Manav got the point. Since the relative is not a KMP, perfectly allowed. Because storekeeper is not a key managerial person at last. Nothing wrong. Storekeeper is also a very honorable position, but not a KMP, not a key managerial person. Therefore, Mr. Kumar can be appointed. Right? Sweetie also says they can appoint. Correct. Allowed. Manav gives the correct reasoning. Manav says his relative is not the KMP. Beautiful. So, see, one more thing was, these are all, see, 6 marks, 2 marks per question. If you answer this question correctly, minimum you will get, if the examiner is in a good mood, you will get 6 marks. At least you will get 5.5 marks. This way you can score, I'm telling you. Answer questions which have sub-questions, where the marks are divided as 2, 3, like that, 2, 3. That way you can pick 2 marks, 3 marks and go. That's easier than taking one solid question with 8 marks. Where even if you are doing a brilliant answer, you cannot get more than 6 out of 8. Believe me, because nobody will want to give 7 out of 8. For 7 out of 8 and all, the answer should be brilliant. But whereas here, even if you write 1 line or 2 line answer, they'll give you 1 mark, 1.5 marks. And if you write an elaborate answer like Aisha or Manav is giving, you get easily to 1.5, 1.5, 4.5. Okay. Or in 1 or 2 cases, for example, second is a very straightforward question. That we give you 2 marks. Third is the straight 2 marks. Okay, like that. Beautiful, sir. You're all great. Now, Mr. Muhammad, I come to your question. Auditor, what are those services? 144. Okay, these are the services. Auditor shall not offer any of the following services, whether such services are rendered directly or indirectly to the company or its holding company or subsidiary company. Whenever they say company, remember minimum holding company, subsidiary company. In addition, sometimes they may include associate company, co-subsidiary, subsidiary of its holding company, and even subsidiary of associate company is included. Just when you're preparing, distinguish. But in all cases, he should not have that with the company, holding, subsidiary. Okay. So these services should not be rendered to company, holding, subsidiary. Aisha is again giving a very good answer. Quoting sections is good. But if you do not quote sections, you will not be penalized. Again and again, I'm saying, somebody who quotes a section will get half a mark more. Okay? But somebody who does not quote section may not get that half mark. Good. As per I'm reading out Aisha's, okay, because can you not see the query pad? Anyway, I'm reading out Aisha's answer to 1. As per section 141(3) of the Companies Act 2013, a person who or his relative or partner is holding any security of or interest in the company or subsidiary or associate or subsidiary of such holding company shall be disqualified from being an auditor of the company. What she has done here is she has verbatim quoted the section. Provided that the relative may hold interest or securities which do not exceed 1 lakh in face value. Beautifully, she has exactly reproduced the section. Now she says, applying that law to the fact. What she says, in the given case, Mr. Akash is holding securities which do not exceed face value of 1 lakh. You can also say he's holding securities face value of 70,000, which does not exceed 1 lakh. Chalo, no problem. And conclusion, therefore, add one, therefore there, Aisha ji, Mr. Prakash is not disqualified. That's it. 2 marks straight. Similarly, she is writing as per section 141(3), a person whose relative is a director or is in employment of company as director or KMP. Now, what I would suggest while writing the exam, you underline KMP. And then, so that KMP is underlined. Then, in the given case, Mrs. KVJ is an employee, but does not hold the position of director or KMP. Hence, Mr. Kumar is not disqualified as per the provisions of the Act. I mean, seriously, I will appreciate Aisha because she's really, this is exactly how answers are to be presented in the examination. The structure is also similar to what I have suggested that day, right? Write the law, apply the law to the fact, give a conclusion. Okay. In some more complicated questions, problem questions, you can represent the facts also to suit your answer. Now we will do 144 and then I will give a small break. Auditor shall not offer any of the following services, whether such services are rendered directly or indirectly to the company or its holding company or subsidiary company. Okay. They are first, accounting and bookkeeping services. Accounting and bookkeeping services. Meaning, see, a company may come to you. They may be having some books of account. Mess. It's in a mess. Then in that case, what happens? They will themselves say, sir, you yourself maintain the books and give it to us. So I can't do that. Boss, it will amount to one of the, my independence will be lost now. And it is, what happens? I am verifying or auditing my own work. Yeah. Self-review. You are all expert in auditing. You know that self-review is straight away there is a professional misconduct. I cannot do self-review. I cannot audit accounts and bookkeeping, which I have done. Okay, so that is not allowed. Honestly, that's not allowed. Not a good idea also. So, internal audit. No. Statutory auditor, if he is internal auditor, self-review, not allowed. Internal audit cannot be done. But that is obvious because even as per code of conduct, you cannot. As you know, internal audit, same fellow cannot be internal and statutory. You know, the company wants you to do that. See, sometimes what happens, the company will say, Srikanth, we want you to give us an assurance. I'll say, look here, I am the statutory auditor. My job is to audit as on a date. Now, I cannot give you assurance on a continuous basis. So what you do, you appoint an internal auditor. Now you yourself become the internal auditor. Say, it's not possible. Now, however much you trust me, I don't trust myself. You trust me. I don't trust myself. It will amount to self-review. So let us have another gentleman as internal audit. I will introduce you to my friend who will do the internal audit. And then I will review his work. That is, I am allowed to. Then I assure you, okay, whatever it is, one more fellow, take him. But ensure that everything was. Because sometimes MDs are locked into us. They'll say, Srikanth, if you don't clear, no. In fact, there are some of my clients have given specific instructions to their CFOs and finance people. If Srikanth has not seen this paper, I will not touch it. So it will come to me by mail or by WhatsApp. So then they will call me, Srikanth, sir, please look at it, sir. MD wants to know whether we can go ahead. then I will raise 3 or 4 queries. See, this role I have to play, though I am statutory auditor, for which I am not charging 1 pi extra. I will not charge 1 pi extra. This comes as a package from a statutory, because I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you as an auditor. I'll do it, but no charge. This is not some consulting service that I give for which I will charge. No, I'm doing my duty, boss. You're paying me. It's my duty to protect you. Your appointment to be an auditor. Anyway, at the end of the year, I'm going to come and sit on your neck. Now itself, you want to clear with me so that I won't come and object at that time. I no problem. I'll do that. I'll play that. I have no problem, but I will not charge for that separately. Okay. However much time I spend, no problem. It is covered in my statutory audit fee. This is my foolish approach to auditing and all. But I still, Bhagavan has been blessed me with a lot of money, no problem. Because I was not billing for it, I am not losing. I'm getting money. I'm happy with what I'm having. No problem. Okay. So design and implementation of any financial information system. So MIS, etc., etc. Now, if you want to do that, then you should not be statutory auditor. Suppose your expertise is that, then you should do that. You cannot do that. Boss, not only you cannot do, not only the firm cannot do. Any firm in which any partner is there cannot also do. Related firm can also not do. Please note it. Not only you, nobody can do. If you can't do, your partner also cannot do. Nobody can do. For that company where you are the statutory auditor. Are you able to understand? Design and implementation of financial information system. See, these are all lucrative activities. These are all lucrative activities. Believe me. See, there are companies for which I do these services. I help them to design an MIS system, financial system. I even help them to implement it as part of their software. I work in tandem with the ERP vendor, and I see to it that it is built in, and I charge for that. I charge a fat fee for that, but I am not the statutory auditor. For those companies, I will not be the statutory auditor. Somebody else will be there, XYZ. I don't know who it is. I may even talk to them and contact them, or we may have a joint meeting where they will also come. I'll go there. Not as an auditor, but as a consultant. Where I'm going as a consultant. My job is to design and implement the financial system, for which I'll be billing separately, but I will not be the statutory auditor. So nothing, please note, these are not prohibited services for a chartered accountant. Chartered accountant can render, but such a person cannot be the statutory auditor of the company. In case some of you had that doubt I'm telling, please do not think that auditor cannot do these services. No, chartered accountant can do. Member in practice can do, but such a member in practice cannot be appointed or should not be appointed, or if he is appointed, he will be disqualified. If he renders this service, he will be disqualified. If he is a statutory. Actuarial services. Okay. No. I don't know if you know what is actuarial services. Actuarial services is assessment of risk, probabilistic assessment. For example, provision for gratuity has to be made. You know that. As per the Ind AS, it has to be made. First time implementation, you have to take it to the balance sheet. Provision has to be made. Every year you have to make a provision for gratuity. How to know how to make the provision? That is done by the actuary. They will take into account life expectancy table. They will take how many employees, their age. Then they have certain calculations. And then they will say, total salary so much, then that means that this will be the amount. So you have to make a provision of so much. That calculation is called actuarial services. Like that, insurance companies will have actuaries for fixing the premium, because the actuary will try to find out how many such cases could happen probabilistically in a year. If so, what will be the claim? If such claims are settled also, we need to make money. So what should be the premium we have to charge for this product? Whatever it may be, motor insurance, marine insurance. So they will fix the premium. This work is done by a person called actuary. It's a very, very complicated subject. For that, you should become a member of the Indian Institute of Actuaries. You have to pass separate exam, which is highly mathematics oriented. But there are members of our institute who are actuaries. Chartered accountants are there, hardly about 100 of them who are actuaries. So 100% they will not be statutory auditors. Believe me when I say that. They will be employed by insurance company, or they will be consulting actuaries who will not sign balance sheets. But they are very clear. A firm also is covered here. Na? So quietly you cannot take an actuary into your firm and give actuarial services through him. If you do that, then For the company where you're doing actuarial services, you cannot be auditor. See, all this happened because of Enron. In America, there was a company called Enron, which was into energy contracts and all, building power plants and all that. They were, or hydel projects and all. So they were there. Across the world, they were doing huge company. But they were mismanaged. And it so happens that, see, for running these electric current power projects and all, they need engineers. Now, these engineers, instead of hiring, they will take from consulting companies. So there was a company called Arthur Andersen Consulting, Arthur Andersen firm, who had a huge consulting division, where that consulting division will employ engineers. These engineers who are on the payroll of Andersen Consulting will go to Enron projects and they will render services there, for which Andersen Consulting will bill Enron. So huge amount. In addition to rendering these services, Enron was also being audited by Arthur Andersen. Obviously, there is a conflict there. At that time, there was no control. So later on, Enron started falsifying the books. But so when Arthur Andersen said no, immediately they called the partners of Arthur Andersen and said, look here, if you do not sign this, we will cancel all those contracts. What all project work you're doing, we will cancel. Immediately, these two guys started sitting in their bench. They came back and said, I'm sorry, Your Honor, whatever you want. So they did everything. They falsified the books and they did all sorts of nonsense. Subsequently, there was an investigation by the Securities Exchange Commission, wherein all this came out. And that day, Arthur Andersen lost it. The practice was destroyed. Whatever remained of that practice and employees was acquired by Ernst & Young. Arthur Andersen as a firm, you will not even know about it. At that time, there were big six, right? KPMG, Deloitte, then you had Ernst & Young, Arthur Andersen, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Coopers Lybrand. 6 of them were there. Tushraw had already merged with Deloitte, and so you had 6. They were the big 6. Then Coopers got merged with Pricewaterhouse, 1 gone. Arthur Andersen got destroyed. So now you have big 4. Before that, there were big 6. Then big 8 actually. Big 8. Pete Marwick and Mitchell was there. Touche Ross was also. Touche Ross, Pete Marwick, Mitchell got merged into KPMG, and that's it. End of story. So the point I'm making is, that is when Enron is when this whole thing started. Then they had Sarbanes-Oxley in the US, SOX, by which they said auditors should be independent. Independent directors should be independent. Auditors should not do all these things. So that, as I told you, that Enron effect, plus Satyam also happened in our own country. So all that they saw and they said, no, you cannot do these things. I told you, investment advisory services, you cannot render. The company may be having surplus funds. You cannot do treasury management for them. Investment advisory, no. Investment banking services, you cannot become, you may be a merchant banker. You might get license also, but you cannot render those services to you, or your related company or firm cannot render to this company. Obviously, boss, you will become category 1 merchant banker, you will be the auditor. And then you public issue, who can trust what you're doing here? Because you want to promote the issue, you will sign any balance sheet and go, Therefore, they're very clearly saying, no, you can't do both. Rendering of outsourced financial services. Sorry. Management services, pure and simple. Strategic management advisory services, etc. See, my partner does it, but not through a firm. He does it through a company. But we will not be statutory. No, he does it. We are very happy. But so like that, there should be a separation. Of course, in those days, before Sarbanes, and before 144, there used to be something called the Chinese wall and all, where one partner will do consulting, another partner will do auditing. Obviously, boss, when auditing is being done for a company by one partner, other partners also will come to know about it now. So that is why you used to say there is a Chinese wall. For insider trading, there is a Chinese wall. So that information within the firm should not go from one audit to another audit, like that. So on and so forth. It's very difficult. Chinese walls are very easy to break because Chinese walls in Japan and China, walls are made of thick paper. Because bamboo, paper and all. Japanese walls are paper. Chinese walls are bamboo. Okay. So very difficult. Right. Rendering of outsourced management services. Any other kind of services as may be prescribed in future, whatever. You cannot do this. either directly or indirectly. Directly meaning as an individual, that auditor cannot do, that partner cannot do, his relatives cannot do, other person connected or associated with such individual cannot do, other person connected or associated with such individual cannot do. Okay, associated or connected and all, they have not given any explanation. They are saying associated or connected with such individual. Entity in which such individual has significant influence or control, meaning 20% of the shares he is holding or he is a director there, not possible. Entity whose name or trademark or brand is used by such individual, where, for example, he is signing audit as a partner, but he is using the brand. For example, definitely KPMG is a brand. Now you are using that brand. You are signing as partner KPMG, or somewhere you have an understanding with KPMG that when you audit, it is like they auditing. Though they cannot practice here, you are practicing here, but you are practicing under his name only. So you are using his trademark. So then that entity also cannot do. Check out with KPMG and Ernst & Young. You will find they are not signing in their own name. Those balance sheets you check out. Another firm will sign, but still KPMG or Ernst & Young cannot do because the trademark or brand is used. Same way here also. For a KPMG Ernst & Young, it will come under firm, but I'm saying, for example, you are an individual chartered accountant, Rajasthan, you are practicing. You have gone to Los Angeles and you have got into an understanding with an American firm by which they say you be a sole proprietor, but we will give our trademark to you. Use it. Okay, you will sign in your individual name only, but you will be a network firm with that firm. So whichever audits they get, they will pass on to you. So you built a huge practice individual. Then that US firm now, whose trademark you are using, they cannot do any of these services. Got it? They cannot do any of these services to the clients where you are the statutory auditor. Similarly, firm. Partner of the firm cannot do. Parent firm cannot do. Meaning, many cases for multinational firms, there will be a large firm. Then some of the partners of the parent firm will be the partners of a subsidiary firm. Okay. Also, they may be having associate entity where two partners from here will go and be there. Some other persons also will be there. All sorts of firms will be there. When Satyam came out, Pricewaterhouse came out with saying, that Pricewaterhouse is not us. Beautifully, they said, that is different, we are different. Then, like that, 7 firms were there within Pricewaterhouse. Okay. They said these are all subsidiary firms, whatever. But finally, you see, he is a partner somewhere connected with you now. So, associate entity in which the firm has significant influence, meaning any partner is holding more than 20% of the shares, or any partner here is the director there. Entity in which any partner of the firm has significant influence or control. Entity whose name or trademark or brand is used by the firm or any of its partners. So all these are covered. Okay. So now we have these services cannot be done, etc. Right? So this is rendering of services directly or indirectly. Friends, the time now is something like 7:50. So permit me to have a small break, shall we say? Then we will get into appointment of auditors and move on with our life. Any questions here you can ask. Huh? Significant influence or control means, normally, the minute we use the word significant influence or control, we are actually referring to 20%. They have not defined it here. That is unfortunate. They have not defined it. But normally, significant influence or control would mean 20%. They are able to control 20% of the total voting power, or not less than 20%, not exactly, not less than 20% of the total voting power, or share capital, or whatever in that. Not less than 20%. So, significant control has meaning. It is not the same as control. Control is ability to change majority, whereas significant is 20%. Absolute control is ability to change the majority of the directors. Okay. So, unfortunately, they have not defined it yet. I'm unable to give you a concrete answer. You have to be careful. So, better not have anything to do with that. So, There should be no connection. See, there is a firm in which Mr. A, there is a company where the auditor is Mr. A, who is the partner of AB and Co. A is the partner. A has A's sister-in-law, that is A's wife's sister, and another person, unconnected, non-related, A, that person. They are running a firm which renders accounting and bookkeeping services. Please note the problem I am stating. A is the auditor of a company. A is the partner of AB and Co, where A is the partner. A, as the partner AB and Co, is signing the balance sheet of XYZ Limited. Now, there is a firm belonging to A's wife's sister and another person. Two partners are there in that firm. That firm is rendering accounting and bookkeeping services to XYZ Limited. Will this be covered by 144? Will this be covered by 144? A is the partner of AB and Co. A has been appointed, AB and Co has been appointed as auditor of XYZ Limited. A is the signing partner. A's wife's elder sister is having a firm with another partner who is non-related, not connected. These two people together run a firm. That firm is well known for rendering accounting services. They have been hired by XYZ for maintaining its books of account. Outsourced services. Outsourced services. Accounting and bookkeeping services outsourced. Will this be covered by section 144? This is my question. So, Betal ka sawal. Aap sab hai Vikramaditya. I am Betal. So, you have to answer my question. If you give the right answer, oh sorry, we should not make any jokes. No jokes. Only serious. But anyway, question is still there. Please answer it. While you are thinking, you can also have a cup of chai. We will come back at 8 o'clock and go on till 8:30 or 8:25. How? Shivam, you also should give me the answer how. Are you Supreme Court? You are judge of Supreme Court? You have to give a, see, like Aisha has given logic, na? Like that you should give logic. See, every answer given by Aisha ji is having an argument. And based on that argument, she concludes. Only Supreme Court judge, even Supreme Court judge has to give a reasoning for his answer. Am I correct? Even a Supreme Court judge cannot write, yes, it will be covered under section 144. He can write as the last line of his order. But before that, there should be a justification. So, see, here is I have given you the slide now. Say where it is covered. Under which clause it will be covered. Others can also give me an answer. If you are saying it is covered, tell me where it is covered. AB and Co is the firm. A is the partner of the firm. The firm is appointed as auditor of XYZ Limited. A's wife's elder sister and another person, unconnected person, are running a firm. That firm is appointed as bookkeeping and accounting services. Whether this is covered by 144. Shivam Tiwari says, yes, it will be covered by under section 144. But that means once Supreme Court decision, you cannot disobey like that. But even Supreme Court should give a reasoning, Naji. Don't mistake me, Shivam. I'm teaching you. Just as you are saying, you are not, I'm not getting angry, I'm learning. So you give me a reasoning. Like Aisha has given a reasoning, you give reasoning. Then I will respect you. Then I will definitely appreciate you. If you would put all caps, yes, it will be covered under section 144. I can't get frightened and run away. I need a reasoning for it. Madam, are you listening to the problem? Is it an individual? Is it an individual auditor? Are we talking about individual auditor? And that too, okay, for the benefit of Bhumika, I am repeating. AB and Co is a firm of chartered accountants. A is a partner. AB and Co firm of chartered accountant is appointed as an auditor of XYZ Limited, not ABC Limited, XYZ Limited. Okay? Then that other company, that firm is run by wife's sister's elder sister of wife of A. A's wife's elder sister and another unrelated person. That firm is appointed as accounting services for entering out. Will it be covered? Shivam Tiwari says AB Co has control over other firm. How? How control? Again, you have to give me a reasoning. How? If A's wife is there, I can understand. There's the control. Even then, you have to look at the right-hand corner. You are looking at this side. You are looking at this column. No, you look at this column and tell me where it is covered. Is it an associate entity? See, the crucial thing here, as rightly pointed out by Thakur ji is, Keshav ji is, the bookkeeping service provider, that is the firm of that, is not covered because the partners are not relative. Sister-in-law is not a relative. Sister-in-law, a wife's elder sister is not a relative. And there is no control. Shivam, again you are stating that there is a control. Where is the control? How there will be control? You can't say there will be control. I think only Commissioner of Income Tax and all will pass orders like this. I will go on appeal. Simply because his commissioner is passing order, I will go on appeal. Yeah. Mr. Soni, suddenly you are saying, I have already learned the whole chapter in audit. Good. What do you want me to do? Suddenly you are putting this comment. Suddenly Anirudh Soni is barging in and putting, I have already learned the whole chapter in audit. What do you want me to do for it? You think I'm wasting your time? Sorry, what to do? This is also there in company law. I have to teach. Okay. Why don't you give us an answer? With all your elaborate experience and knowledge in the chapter on audit, why don't you give us your answer? Why don't you give us an answer for this question? A recent answer. Anyway, see, my dear friends, all I am trying to say is, don't think I know everything. Don't think this is the only answer. There could be other options also. Sitting in the exam hall, open your mind. Think freely. There may be many, many options. Choose carefully. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay. Usually, Darshan only will make comment like this. I have already learned the whole chapter in audit. Such comment will be put only by Darshan. Like we are missing Darshan. Not sister's wife, madam, wife's sister. Not covered. But today, with LGBTQ and all, sister's wife also possible. Under definition of relative, and bookkeeping service is not covered. Hey, bookkeeping is covered. Bookkeeping is covered. Hello? Bookkeeping is covered under section 144. First item, accounting and bookkeeping services. Covered. Okay. Covered. Anyway, check it out. Okay. Wonderful. Now what I'm going to do is, with your permission, I'm going to have a small break. I said we'll have a break 10 minutes ago. In the meantime, 10 minutes have passed. Now I will. Because most of you have studied this topic in auditing. So you feel that you are an expert in this topic. And I'm giving you an answer that you are not able to accept. You are getting angry. What can I do about it? Yeah. What can I do about it? Okay, let us have a small break for 5 minutes. Huh? Sir, break, sir. This 144 is creating a lot of problem. I think 144 under the Indian Penal Code is a curfew, where not be 144 order they will say. I forget which act. It's not Indian Penal Code. It's some act under the British government also. 144 means it's a curfew where you cannot go out, 144 order like that. Of course, under the Income Tax Act, 144 is where you pass an order of ex parte order, where the assessee does not cooperate or does not submit the details or does not appear regularly, either himself or through authorized representative. The assessing officer will pass an order based on the material available on the record. It's called ex parte order. Anyway, so this 144 is becoming a real pain for all of us. Aisha again gives a very elaborate and very well argued answer, but she is making a small mistake. Again and again, in my example, I was mentioning a firm. How you are all again and again linking to an individual, I do not know. In case of auditor being firm, in this case, the firm is the auditor, A, B, and Co. Please, in how that misunderstanding is coming, even Bhumika made the same assumption. Aisha also makes the same assumption that it is individual. No, it is a firm. In the case of firm, partners, parent firm, subsidiary firm, associate. Now, the real thing is, could this sister-in-law company, a firm, be treated as an associated entity? Associated entity means some link should be there. Either this guy should be there or his relative should be there. The partner's relative should be there. I said, that is why I said it is wife's elder sister. Sister-in-law is not a relative. Brother-in-law not a relative. All the in-laws are outlaws. Therefore, no connection. And it is, Tiwari is putting hello and all. Why he is putting hello, sir? I don't know. Suddenly he is putting hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, Mr. Tiwari. Hello. Now, he is saying ABCO has control over the other firm. No. Nahi. Never. Not possible. I can't control my wife. How I will control her sister? Yeah. How? You tell me. I am unable to control my own wife. How I will control her sister? That too, elder sister. Not going to happen. Never it will happen. Okay, it so happens in my case, my wife's elder sister will listen to me, but my wife will not listen. But that's different. That is a specific instance. In general, no, not a relative. Got it? Okay, now we move on to appointment of auditors, wherein we have first auditor, meaning the company is incorporated. In that year, the first year of incorporation, how will the first auditor be appointed? There are different provisions, one for government company, the other for other than government company. You know what is a government company by now? I don't have to waste your time. You know that. I don't have to waste your time. You have seen enough and more. This slide has been already discussed many times during my earlier sessions also. So, correct, Bhumika ji, you are right. ABC and Co can be appointed. Excellent. Government company, the operative section is section 139(7), right? Where the government company ka auditor, first auditor, okay, is appointed by the CAG, meaning Controller and Auditor General of India, CAG, Controller and Auditor General of India. CAG is a public office, right? Just like Election Commissioner, Controller and Auditor, appointed by the President of India, appointed by the President of India, like Supreme Court Judge, etc. CAG is appointed by the President of India. CAG is the government auditor. CAG audits the government. In fact, in the very famous case of the 2G scam, as we called it, it was the CAG who discovered it, and they came out with the thing. So the Controller and Auditor General of India, like the Election Commissioner, they are public office. They hold public office, very senior position. C&AG, Controller and Auditor General. So that C&AG is the top man. Below him, there will be a lot of people. The whole department is there. Whole ministry is there. Audit and Accounting Services Department. So in that, the CAG, one division would be only for appointing auditors of government companies. So there, that department will select the auditor from a panel. CAG ka panel is there, where all the firms will be empaneled as, it's a constitutional body, absolutely correct. It will be, there the CAG will have a panel of eligible auditors who satisfy the criteria, they'll be empaneled. And from that panel, they will select an auditor and appoint within 60 days of the date of registration of the company. In case the CAG does not appoint within 60 days, then the board of directors of this company should appoint within the next 30 days from a panel, from the panel only. Only from the panel of auditors you can select. You cannot select anybody in the end. Because to audit a government company, there should be a certain size. Then, in case the board of directors do not appoint within 30 days, the next 30 days. So, first 60, then next 30, total 90. Then the members should appoint within 60 days from that day. Okay. So 90 plus 60, right? 150 days. Members should appoint within 150 days at an EGM. If they don't do that, that government company is violating the law. This first auditor, the first auditor will hold office until the conclusion of first AGM. The first auditor will hold office until conclusion of first AGM. This conclusion is very, very important and interesting. I'll explain it to you after I finish the next one. Other than government company, meaning any company other than government company. Okay. 139.6. The first auditor will be appointed by the board of directors within 30 days. So company is incorporated. See, within 30 days, so many things have to be done. You have to inform the registrar about the registered office. The first board meeting should be held. At the first board meeting, you should approve the preliminary expenses, pre-incorporation expenses. Any other pre-incorporation contract will be approved in that meeting. The first auditor will be appointed in that meeting. Are you able to understand? So the board of directors would normally appoint the first auditor within 30 days. In case they do not, on failure, then the members have to appoint within 90 days at an EGM. If that is not done, it is a violation of this section 139. Okay? Now, this auditor, this first auditor appointed by the board within 30 days, or see here it is not next 30 days, please note, within 90 days. That is, from the date of registration, from the date of incorporation, within 30 days, board of directors. In case the board doesn't appoint, then within 90 days from date of incorporation, AGM, you have to hold this first auditor will be appointed. That gentleman or lady or firm will hold office until conclusion of AGM. My dear friends, AGM is a very important event. Now, the directors, later on you'll study in final, but just now for your information, directors will hold office till the AGM. That is, certain directors who will retire by rotation, etc. The minute the meeting starts, they will vacate office. When the chairman of the meeting strikes the gavel and says this meeting is called to order, that time the directors will vacate. The directors will cease to be directors, but the auditor will continue till the conclusion of that meeting. If during the meeting you appoint somebody, then that person will be the auditor. But if you don't appoint, then this gentleman will continue. A company cannot have a situation where there is no auditor. There should always be an appointed auditor for a company. I'm sure many of you are sports people, field sports, track sports. I'm sure you have run 400-meter dash. Some of you might have run the 400-meter relay. I don't know if you know what the relay is. I have run 400-meter relay in those days when I was young, when I was not so fat. And for my exercise, I used to run the 400-meter relay. 400-meter relay, 4 people will run. 4 times they will go around the 400 meters. The idea is, first one guy will start. They will be holding what is known as a baton in the hand. The baton will be held like this, right? So it will be held like this with space. He'll hold it like this. It's a stick longer than the pen I'm holding. That baton. So he'll be running with the baton in his hand. Then when he completes the lap, the other man who has to run the next lap, he'll be waiting with the hand ready. So when this guy comes running, this man will grip, that man will let go, this man will start going. The second lap runner will start going. Like that, 4 laps will be run by 4 people. This is called 400 meters relay race. So why I'm giving this example now? The auditor will hold office till the conclusion. If the new man comes, this fellow will let go, that fellow will continue. So before the AGM is over, new man will be in section. He'll be the auditor. The baton will be exchanged. If this guy has to continue one more relay, he will continue. But no time the baton should fall. At no time there should be a situation where the auditor will not be there. So auditor will hold office till the conclusion. Later on you will see subsequent auditors, other than the first auditor, will hold office till the conclusion of the 6th AGM, like that. So always auditor will hold office until the conclusion. Are you able to understand? This is the reason why they will hold office till the conclusion of the meeting. Silver Tongue Solutions Private Limited was incorporated on 7/4/2021. The board of directors of the company held a board meeting on 17/4/2021, wherein they appointed Messrs. John, Jacob and Associates as the first auditor of the company for a term of 5 years. State the validity. Just have to choose an option, that's all. This is a multiple choice question. You just have to choose A, B, C, D. See, the company was established 7/4. So 17/4, within 30 days, the board of directors appointed John Jacob, first auditor. So I think it's correct, valid, or maybe it will become valid after approval of shareholders in general meeting. What do you think? So just to test your awareness, that's all. No takers? Nobody is answering? B, A. Manav says invalid. That is A. Rajni says A. Shivam Tiwari says B. What to say now? If I say B, Shivam Tiwari, if I say it is not B, then Shivam Tiwari will get angry with me. But if I say A, that is the correct answer. B is the wrong answer. See, Manav gives the right logic. The logic given is correct. That is, the first auditor shall hold the office only till the conclusion of first AGM, which is before 5 years, and since it is invalid. See, the problem here is the board of directors cannot appoint the first auditor for 5 years. They can only appoint him for the first year. He will hold office only till the conclusion of the first AGM. Here, what the board of directors of Silver Tongue Solutions Private Limited has done, they've exceeded their power. They've appointed him for 5 years. So that appointment is invalid. They should have appointed him only for the 1 year. Okay, we can argue like this. We can argue. Of course, B is not the valid answer. B is not a correct answer. Because even if the shareholders approve it, the first auditor cannot be appointed for 5 years. Even the shareholders can only appoint him for 1 year till the conclusion of the first AGM. Even the shareholders, and central government has no power to approve all this. Central government is not enough. So it is not valid. Invalid is the correct. A is the correct answer. The reason is it is more than 2. But what you can say, it's still invalid. Okay. You have to again appoint him within the duration. See that you appoint him, reappoint him, but this time only for till the first AGM. Good. Managing Director of PQR Limited wants to appoint Sri Ganapati, a practicing chartered accountant, as first auditor of the company. Comment on the proposed action. Here the problem is MD cannot appoint the first auditor. Only board of directors can appoint the first auditor. MD can maybe recommend him. He can say, Ganapati is my friend. I know him. He's a good boy and all. But appointment cannot be done by MD. Only the board of directors can appoint. This is not one of the powers of MD. MD has substantial powers, but that does not include appointment of the first auditor or any auditor for that matter. Okay. Though, of course, technically the MD will, sort of without MD's knowledge or approval, he cannot be. But the actual appointment will be done only by the board at the first board meeting. Okay. A company includes the following shareholders also. A company includes following shareholders. Bank of Baroda, a nationalized bank, holding 12%. National Insurance Company, carrying on general insurance business. Maharashtra State Financial, advise the company whether the provisions laid in appointment audit in case of government company are applicable to it. See, Bank of Baroda is a nationalized bank. No problem. National Insurance Company. But none of them is a government company. None of them is a government. Maharashtra State Financial Corporation maybe, but they're holding only 8%. Okay. So, this company is not a subsidiary of a government company. No central government or state government. See, the definition of government company is very clear. 51% of the state capital is held by central government, state government, or central government or state government, or it should be a subsidiary of a government company. In this case, it is not a subsidiary of a government company. Central government is not holding, state government is not holding. So, it is not a government company. Okay. Though technically definition of government company is coming only in your final syllabus, because of the intricate combination, you have to know it. There's no other go. MD cannot appoint first auditor. Only board of directors can do so. Excellent. Absolutely correct, Bhumika. Thank you. Now, we have another 4 minutes. I'll just quickly do this and then stop. Appointment of auditors means other than the first auditor. Appointment of auditors other than first auditor. There is subsequent auditor. Again, for government company 139.5, other than government company, first subsection 139.1. 139.5 government company. See, first auditor appointed within 30 days by board, next 60 days by, within first 30 days by CAG, next 30 days by board, and then balance another 60 days by AGM. But here, subsequent audit. First AGM, at the first AGM, you have to appoint the auditor to hold office for the balance. Now, that person, the subsequent auditor, CAG should appoint within 180 days of commencement of financial year. So, for 30, see, the company was incorporated on during the calendar year 22. So, for 31/3/23, CAG would have appointed. This fellow will hold office till the conclusion of the AGM of 23. 23 accounts will be presented now till that AGM. Till conclusion, he will be there. In the meantime, from the beginning of the financial year, there is 1/4/23, 180 days, meaning 6 months. So April, May, June, July, August, September. Before September 30th, the subsequent auditor should be appointed. This fellow may be reappointed by the CAG. Usually CAG will give appointment for 3 years. Then there will be a cooling period, then like that. So whatever it is, every year the CAG has to appoint within 180 days. They will send an appointment letter. Based on that, the board of directors will send him will approve the appointment and send him a letter. You are hereby appointed by the CAG. Kindly come and do whatever. So that auditor will hold office until the conclusion of the next AGM. So government company auditor will be reappointed every year by the CAG to hold office till the conclusion of the next AGM. Whereas for other than government company, the members will appoint at the first AGM. Thereafter, board has no power to appoint. Only first auditor, board can appoint. Subsequent auditors, only shareholders, members are appointing. So the first time it will happen is at the first AGM. Are you able to understand? First AGM, that man will hold office from conclusion of first AGM till conclusion of sixth AGM. So auditor will be appointed for 5 years at a time. Earlier also, every year only we used to appoint. But now they said 5 years to appoint him. After 5 years, you can't appoint him. We'll see that. Rotation and all we'll see. Some cases there is a rotation of auditors. But auditor is appointed for 5 years at a time. So first AGM, he will be reappointed for 5 years to hold office till the conclusion of the 6th AGM. Now from the 6th AGM, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11th AGM again, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like that, it will go on and on and on. If there is a rotation, then at the end of the 5th year, some other person. Like that. Okay? So rotation of auditor provision, we will see in the next class, not now. 1/4 of the subscribed capital of AMC Limited was held by the government of Rajasthan, 25%. Neeraj, a chartered accountant, was appointed as an auditor of the company at AGM by an ordinary resolution. Mr. Sanjay, a shareholder of the company, objects to the manner of appointment on the ground of violation of Companies Act. So the question is whether AMC Limited is a government company. It is not, because only 1/4, 25% is held by Government of Rajasthan. So Neeraj can be appointed by the shareholders at the, see why I am including here, because this is not first auditor question. This is subsequent auditor, right? So Neeraj is appointed as a subsequent auditor at the AGM. He can be appointed for 5 years by the members by passing an ordinary resolution. Sanjay's claim is wrong. Sanjay's statement is not tenable. What is the procedure to be followed in case the central government also holds 1/3? Central government also holds 1/3. So now 1/3 means 33.33. Already that flow is holding 25. Government of Rajasthan 35. So 25. 25 plus 30 is 55, 58.3. 58.33, but more than 51%. Therefore, government company. Then Sanjay's point is tenable. So try to remember the definition of a government company, right? So we'll be moving on in more detail about this one. So Shivam, I don't know what your statement is trying to communicate to me. 113(1) filing return on or before due date. Are you talking about all this? I'll be covering it in subsequent session. Don't worry. In the next class, I'll be covering it. Don't worry. Okay, fantastic. I'm very happy that we have covered so much ground today. And yeah, 113(1), I'll cover it. It's my unfortunate or fortunate duty to cover the entire section. But in my own pace and in my own way. Not today. In the next class, we'll do it. Okay. Next class, we'll go deeper into appointment, etc. Don't worry about that. Okay. You have to file a return and all. All right. Okay. You have to file a return. I think this is what you're talking about. File a notice of such appointment with the auditor appointment from ADT1. Yes, we'll do that. Don't worry. Sir, without teaching you, I won't run away, sir. I'll be there. I will teach you. Don't worry. Okay. Bye. I'll be the faculty for this topic, Baba. Audit and auditors, I will teach. Then I think in September, I'm having some classes because see, from the 18th of this month, from the 17th of this month, I'm going for a spiritual retreat. So I know 57 years old, and believe me, I'm slowly getting into what is known as Vanaprastha. So I'm going for, so that way I'm not able to take. But again, in September, I'll be coming for some other topics, which I hope we will enjoy discussing together. Bye. Now I will answer. I was about to attempt both group, but my brother filed my form. The answer is I don't know. Sorry, because I'm not. You have to talk. What I suggest, the institute has a help desk. The ICI Board of Studies has a help desk. That help desk, you immediately call. I'm sure it is possible to rectify, provided the due date for filing the form is not over. But if the due date for filing the form is over, nothing can be done. So don't see if the due date is. I'm seriously not aware of all these things. I am, as I told you, I am not a coaching class or something where I keep track of. I'm a teacher. I'm a practicing CA teaching the subject to you. So this type of question, only people who are running coaching class and fellows who are only involved in that student activity, they will know. Or else you send a message to the institute help desk, email ID will be there. Or call up that number, they will advise you. Please do that. That's the best advice I can give you. Under section 144, in case auditor's firm in this connection, what is an associated? Where, see, an associated entity is one where either the partner or his relative will be a partner or director or substantial interest, 20% and all, then that will be an associate. So my suggestion, Kavita ji, don't waste time. Kal to ab kar dijiye. You call up the help desk number and they will help you. Definitely they will help you. Or send a mail. Abito, you send a mail to the number, and you explain. Surely the institute will take care of you and they will give you a suggestion. Because you only want to write one more group, you can. So I suggest file my form. You file for group 2 separately. That is also possible, na? Group 1 already over. Now you file group 2 also. Date is not over. Do it. Abito, you do it. My suggestion. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shivam Tiwari. Coming from you, it is a great compliment. Chalo. Sometimes if I have been a little funny for intention of humor. I'm very sorry. Maaf kar dijiye. Thank you very much. Bye. Have a great evening ahead. Enjoy yourself and become members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Bye.